This hour of the Alan Autry Show is sponsored by Sinlaw, the most realistic artificial grass in the Central Valley.
From NFL quarterback to Hollywood to the mayor's office, and now behind the mic at KXEX.
Man can't keep a job.
Is the Alan Autry Show. No retreat.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
What the hell's going on out here? Everybody grabbing out there. Nobody.
That the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
So, 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable. We are live. We are
You're listening to the Alan Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KRT.
And welcome to Alan Autry No Retreat. It's Big Wednesday, and that means many times on Wednesday we are blessed to have with us Mr. Larry Powell. I like to call him Sir Lawrence of Powell. He's with us.
Nice
and
to
Mr.
be with you.
Guillermo Moreno. Here. All right, let's start with breaking news right off the bat. We'll get the debate that's happening tonight. It's very important. But, you know, the leading causes of death in Russia, the 3 causes, cancer, heart attack, and crossing Vladimir Putin.
No doubt.
It seems like Yevgeny Prigozhin, name ring a bell? Those who've been following politics, it should. The Wagner boss, former Wagner boss, and I don't joke about it. Guillermo, tell him what happened. This is breaking news.
Yeah, breaking news. He was on a passenger plane that just went down, and they have footage of it going down. So he's no longer among the living. He is deceased.
You surprised, Larry?
Not at all. I'm surprised he lasted as long as he did.
Yeah, and I know you don't mean to be funny about that.
No, not at all.
He was dead man walking from the moment he started loud talking the Russian hierarchy, the military.
Absolutely. The hard part is that how do you have video of that exact plane and only 10 people on board, still 10 people, 10 lives gone. They found the plane he was on that had the fewest number of people they had to kill to get him.
He's a compassionate guy.
Yeah. Wow.
You tell her that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the way the world turns, folks.
Fox News just keeps playing it on repeat.
Yeah.
Oh, they confirmed it. There was some thought that he may not have been on that plane, but he definitely is. Both CNN. That's what we're looking at. People watching on Facebook. We're looking off camera here.
Yeah.
Both the CNN and the Fox feed.
That thing's going straight down.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a loud message. I don't know what Mr. Zelensky's thinking right now, but I would add to your security if I was him.
Just a bit.
And did you see that he didn't go, he being Putin, did not go to the BRICS summit in Johannesburg? People speculate that the reason why, because Xi Jinping's there, that this arrest warrant that the World Criminal Court issued to him, South Africa is a member of that and are supposed to, by international law, if you're a member of that organization, is when you get a chance to get one of the criminals of which they've deemed Putin a war criminal, you're supposed to grab him and arrest him. So he's zooming in to the meeting. But Larry and I were talking before the show. We're just in the real world. You're over there in South Africa, and Putin says, I decided I want to come. I'm going to call their bluff. And you're the South African police. And you're asking for volunteers to go arrest Putin. Have you ever seen that commercial where you come in going, hey, we need some volunteers, and the whole office just empties out, and there's a piece of paper floating down there? I mean, they're living in a real world. Who would volunteer for that? Or what police captain would even act upon that email from the criminal court? Okay, he's there in Johannesburg. Go pick him up.
Go get Barney.
Yeah. I mean, it's I don't think Putin had much to worry about, but in I think a show of solidarity, Xi Jinping did not show up to, I think, 2 or 3 scheduled meetings with the BRICS folks. And I think to show solidarity, saying, straddling that fence. I'm here, but my bro, I got bromance with Vladimir. He's not here, so I'm not going to show up personally. I'll send a representative and all of that.
Which is not bad that BRICS is not being, so I'm okay. Don't let it happen.
Well, I tell you, it's a big era so far this year for the I in BRICS, India.
Mm-hmm.
They landed on the moon today.
Did they?
Yes, they did.
India.
But did they?
Fourth country.
Yeah, I think it's seriously. I mean, that's
according to video.
That's.
I want proof.
You want to? Oh man, you just won. You realize how many Indian listeners we have from India on this show? You just lost half of them.
Hey, I don't believe we even did it.
What?
So I'm not discriminating. I'm discriminating upon everyone that claims that they went on the moon.
Hey, Guillermo, like I told you before, and I hate to bring it to you, but we did go to the moon. There are no aliens, and Elvis is not alive. Elvis is dead. I know you find hard.
That was Elvis Presley.
India
got it.
They went to the moon, but also not this year will it happen. But there is a statistical probability that seems to grow with every single day that Hurricane Vivek, a Hindu of Hindu faith, Indian descent, could be our next president.
Could be, yeah.
I mean, India's motating, man. They are moving. And did we not say here, well, you guys have anything to comment? Come in here. You're leaving me. Hey, this is earth-shattering stuff. India on the moon, and Vivek Ramaswamy. And we know what we knew about Vivek?
He could play tennis.
He's got a great forehead.
It's pretty good. I could take him, but it's pretty good.
But you notice? Didn't show his backhand. Everything was the forehand.
And it was
so when you shoot those questions,
that's hard to run around.
Yeah, shoot it.
Yes, it is. And it was all easy shots.
Yes.
All in the mid-range. Boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
He
Right
had
there.
the coach over tossed him soft toss. Yeah, showed up. No backhand, no drop shot. Just pure forehand. One note.
Hollywood.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk about if you think that's a great move. But hats off literally to the country of India. I don't know. They just surpassed China as the most populous country on the face of the earth. That's a lot of people, over 1 billion people. You're finding the money. I guess everybody's got food on the table and a house to live in, so you've got gobs of money to go to the moon. Wasted. Anyway, that's just it's a huge feat. I didn't even know they were trying to go to the moon.
I don't know either.
Oh, what?
Did you know that?
No,
they landed something on the moon. It's not like an actual person doing a lunar walk. That still has yet to happen.
Well, it didn't do like the Russian thing. The Russian thing crashed and burned.
Yeah. But why haven't we gone back? I think we're going back. But
Why?
Why hasn't anybody just gone back?
Why?
couldn't get insurance.
Why? Deep space moon insurance is very difficult.
Insurance is tough.
I know a guy down on Blackstone will cover you.
Yeah.
On Blackstone,
2 for
Dakota.
1.
He's got moon insurance, crash insurance, cheap policies, and he pays.
We cover anything.
He pays. But okay, you got another comment. You got nothing to.
No. Yeah. So,
see, I'm just heaping praise on India, and you guys.
I think it's pretty cool.
Thank you, Larry.
Fourth country.
Thank you.
That made it to the moon.
Yeah, allegedly.
But you don't go back. I said this on the show the other day. I didn't get a lot of flack.
I've been to Hawaii. I'm not going back.
People go, yeah. What have we gained as a society here in America in particular? Because we want to explore deep space. Why? Because we want to find out where we came from. We want to understand the universe, how it began. And my goodness, it doesn't, for as long as it takes, to quote Joe Biden, we're going to keep pursuing that to the tune of now trillions of dollars since we started this exploration of deep space, going up into the zero gravity situation. There's things they can do medically, experimentally with drugs and such that make a little bit of sense. But you can get zero gravity atmosphere here on Earth now. You don't need to do that. What one thing have we brought back from deep space that has benefited anybody here in America?
Oh, tons of stuff.
What?
Peanut butter and jelly.
What'd you do? You found that on Saturn?
No, but
I
there's
got
tons
that.
of stuff. It might not have.
Skippy made that.
So-
Skippy,
so we
a
didn't-
factory in Des
hold on,
Moines
let's
made
back this
that.
train
You
up.
didn't get that on some planet.
We
Space
did. Okay,
planet.
might have been peanut butter. But no
Peanut butter and
glue.
You're talking
So,
like Joe Biden
wait,
now,
No,
Okay.
which we're
hold on,
going to get to in
wait,
just a
no.
second.
Did we physically go out and bring something
Glue?
for space? No, but in preparation to go up, we've innovated a lot of stuff.
Why can't you innovate that glue to make cars run better, airplanes fly better? There's lots of things to make door handles stay on.
How do you think?
Better. What do you think? They made Gorilla Glue. They didn't have to go to Pluto. Pluto didn't exist anymore. Poor Pluto.
Let me give you guys
They
some
renamed
real
poor
information.
Pluto.
Okay. Said,
Help me out,
science
folks.
experiments performed by astronauts in space improve our understanding of medical conditions on Earth. This research has produced findings that can help people suffering from cardiovascular disorders, type 2 diabetes, osteoporosis, and balance problems.
See,
Lord,
Alan,
you give them ears, but they do not hear. In my preface, Guillermo was looking up, still thinking about the Wagner boss, wonder who killed him. I said deep space, wanting to try to find out our origins. Let me just settle that. Our origin. Oh no, they found oranges with the peanut butter over there in Uranus.
hold on,
That's where they found it in Uranus.
When you say define deep space.
All right, anything beyond the moon. They haven't found one habitable planet.
Allegedly.
Yet they have not found one habitable planet. And just trillions of dollars to find out the goal.
They got rid of Pluto.
I know, poor Pluto,
Yeah,
they renamed it.
Man.
To find out how we came about. Let me just save all the taxpayers a lot of money. God created the universe. Okay? That's how it was created, with the Big Bang. Now, before that theory of being the universe being spoken to existence in an instant was ridiculed by the so-called experts, the scientists, for decades and decades. That was a belief only held by those dumb, idiotic Christians who want to cling to their Bibles and their guns and all that stuff. Then they found out, oops, yeah, the evidence is showing that it did. There was a Big Bang, and that's when the universe was created. So what use are you going to get? We come back going, we finally decided after 200 years of spending quadrillions of dollars that probably a higher power created the universe. Meanwhile, we're still battling childhood cancer, which we could have, if we would have invested it at St. Jude's, Valley Children's Hospital. All of you parents out there that lost your kids to cancer wouldn't have had to. And how do I know that? Because they found a freaking vaccine for COVID in less than a year. You mean say
6 months.
you give
Yeah.
you know what I'd do if I was president? I would get the whole world together because people love playing the lottery. They love money, if you haven't found out.
Yeah.
If you haven't noticed that, the world loves money. And I would say, here's $1 trillion to anyone that can find the cure for cancer. Go. The whole laboratories throughout the world, $1 trillion check waiting for you. I believe with all my heart we would have a cure for cancer within a year. Because you know why? There's so much money in treating cancer and not curing it.
Mm.
If you cure all of these cancer, which do great work, by the way, cancer struck just about everybody. But the gazillions are made in treating it, helping you live a quality of life, not curing it like polio. You know, we cured some things. TB's not around as much. Polio's not around as much. You got Larry. I mean, think about that. Larry had got polio, and I love his saying, "I don't limp up here."
Only down here.
That's exactly.
Let me tell
But
you.
I mean, you're spending money. But I want to go ahead.
Well, the importance of deep space exploration
Easy for you to say.
is very simple. He who controls space is going to essentially control Earth.
Okay,
So
I agree.
So-
I'm with you on
Larry's
that.
like, oh my, this guy's.
No,
God.
I'm with you. Will you listen? Deep space. We should militarize.
So that's what's happening. But
But not deep space. It's the ones that are going to be able to fire the lasers from that first level of space where the satellites are floating around. You're not going to
Was
do
that
them
Star
from
Trek
Galaxy
1 or 2?
You're not going to fire from Galaxy 3.
Larry, it's going to happen.
It already is. People laughed at Trump when he started Space Force.
Yeah.
So the best things he ever. Why didn't Biden disband it after Jen Psaki laughed at it? Because China, Russia, the BRICS folks are militarizing at a warp speed. To quote Star Trek, of space. Absolutely, that's not deep space. I'm talking about these gazillions on just traveling to dead planets. You want to go to a dead space where there's just nothing there. Go to Michigan.
Oh,
But don't do that. No, politically.
Yeah.
The people there are great. You people in Michigan are great.
Dead there. But.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what. Who do you think listens to our show?
Yeah.
We got a lot of woke folks in this too.
We really do.
Farmers in Michigan now get to put their produce in city-run markets. The Supreme Court, the Court of Appeals, just said it was okay to do that after a young family was kicked out of putting their
They just got a bunch of apples and corn over there.
So.
That's about it. Like, apples and corn.
But they can't sell them on the moon.
They can't sell them on the moon.
Good.
Yes.
All right.
So we're talking about Republicans across the pond or Great Lake in Wisconsin. You got to say it like that. Wisconsin, don't you know? No, that's Minnesotan.
My car's parked not too far from the bar. When I was at Packers, Packers.
Yeah.
Packers.
Well, Missouri, it's how far to the far tower.
But debate night tonight, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Did you just change subjects on me?
I try to do a smooth transition there.
Well, you
Not
did.
so smooth.
Okay. Go ahead, man. Handicap it. It's like a roulette wheel. I mean, you got 8 candidates. How long is it? 2-hour debate?
I don't even know.
How long? I think it's a couple hours.
It's too early.
But I mean, isn't it a matter? Isn't it a matter of luck?
Summer.
And can you really? Are you really going to take some from it that you can really count on? Somebody gets.
Here's the question.
I mean, Kamala Harris had a moment that catapulted her.
Oh, clearly.
3 points.
With the bus. Yeah,
Clearly.
no. She was a rock star when she called Biden
Remember,
out on the bus.
I was that girl.
I was that girl.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Did you see?
Yeah.
Kamala's our lady.
Yeah. And then they had T-shirts ready.
Yeah, but there was
Didn't work, did it?
But it was just a one-hit wonder.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Lee.
No, I just think it's too early for the debate because most Americans are concentrating on school, if they're concentrating on anything. And we're just not interested yet. And Trump sucks all the air out of anything that's going on anyway. And Biden, both of them do because they both have things that happen that, drive both sides of the split in America crazy. I think they could spend all their time talking about each of those guys and never get to these people. By the way, just so you know, folks, North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson, former Vice President Mike Pence, and entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy, and Senator Tim Scott, South Carolina. All will be chatting tonight.
Let's talk about the elephant not in the room.
We talked about pre-show.
Trump.
I think I'm going to
Alan?
go counter to you guys. I think there is the powers of good orchestrating this. I don't believe anything happens by accident, and I'm seeing some possible really good things by having Trump not there for the aforementioned reasons. He sucks the air out of the room. It's all about Trump. That just unleashes Christie to talk about Trump and not anything else.
The whole time, yeah.
I mean, you talk about an unindicted guy that should. I mean, he's got more charges against him. He didn't get indicted on he got more reason to go to jail than Trump.
Yeah.
But
Amen to that.
Bridges and freeways.
Yeah,
oh my
wow.
gosh!
Oh, yeah.
And you're out there slinging stones from your glass house. Give me a break, man. But he can sling it pretty good. Got a pretty good.
Oh, he's got.
But I think his
axe body in there.
His axe getting old. But as I said on this show before, people got to. Thomas Sowell said it best. He says, "Doesn't matter how smart you are if you don't stop and think." Okay, we got to stop and think about this. Everybody, Trump. First of all, I think Trump has a perfect opportunity to say, you know what? You know my record, this and that. I'm not going to show, but not because I don't respect the other candidates and I don't respect you, the voters. It's just you know me. And you know the direction I was leading the country. If you think it's a direction you want to go back to, you're going to vote for me. If not, you're not. Nothing I can say Wednesday night's going to change you. But I would like to give my time to the other 8 candidates. In particular, Christie, you want to use that time to go after me rather than Joe Biden? You want to use that time to just talk about make me the issue? That's your decision. But I'm giving you my allotment of time so that people can get to know you, because one of you may be my vice president. And quite honestly, I want to sit back and listen to you. I don't want to fight with you.
That would be that.
I don't want to fight with you and argue. I want to sit back and listen to you just like all the other Americans.
I hope he truths or tweets or X's out something that says, "What a great debate. Who should I pick for number 2?"
If I was,
that would be.
He needs to have somebody around him. Please, if you're a Trump supporter and somehow you get this show, get it. Tell him old Alan Autry, the mayor for Fresno. He'll remember me. For almost a year, we worked together trying.
We could have had beautiful business babies, Alan.
Yeah, and yes,
beautiful
he did.
business babies. But
and yes, him and Michael Cohen tried to screw me at the end of the deal. He did, but it was within the bounds. He pushed the envelope. He didn't break the law, but he did that hardcore businessman push on me, bull rush. And I said no. And having had experience with him, I still adamantly oppose him being railroaded into prison because anyway, we will talk about that in a moment. But him not there, because here's the deal. If he happens to win, say he runs and he wins, and there's a good chance he'll be running against Kamala Harris. I don't think Joe Biden's going to make it. I want to talk about that in a moment, his Hawaii visit. Guillermo, I want to get your opinion on that. But if he wins, the moment he takes the oath of office, he becomes lame duck. He only has 4 years. So you're not going to get much completed. I mean, it's stuff to get done in 8. But this hole has been dug so deep by the Biden administration on so many levels. Do you see they're auctioning off the steel for the wall? I mean, to reignite that wall, to get that wall started again, to make the borders secure, to bring down inflation, to repair our image around the country, to get out of an unwinnable war that is absolutely sucking us dry, to stabilize Social Security, to battle this BRICS currency that's coming down the way. Do you know about that? I mean, India, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa are going to have a new currency backed by gold. It's going to be the most dependable currency in the world. Compare that to America's dollar. With $32 trillion in debt, it's just a piece of paper with a promise to pay. And people are losing faith in America. We have big, big problems. So it's going to take some of the most courageous, intelligent, effective leadership this country has ever seen since World War II to make it through that kind of threat to our way of life. And one of these 8 people could very well be the president in 4 years. So who is, it could very well.
Let me ask you two guys a question. And for our Facebook audience, you can see the response. Thumbs up, thumbs down when I name the name.
All down.
Just,
you don't even have to do it.
You don't have any. All down? You don't like any of these guys?
Oh, you MAGA maniac, you. God, I love you.
Tell me about your perception of the American population about them.
Everybody, or the Republican that are going to be the Republicans that are going to be.
Take the Republican. They're going to be, if they're running for president, it's got to be everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. So
what's your question, Sawyer?
Who knows? Who knows Bergram?
Nobody.
What I have seen of him, very little, and from his state, North Dakota, they seem to love him. And when I saw him on
three of them?
all seen, yeah. See, I go for Michigan. You nail South Dakota.
I didn't even know.
We don't, Guillermo. We can't afford to lose listeners. I got news for you. We're not KMJ. We can't afford to run our 2 or 3 off at a time.
Okay.
But I think he was impressive.
Yes.
No.
On Bergam?
You haven't even listened to.
Absolutely. I don't even know who the guy is.
Well, you don't write him off.
I could have picked him out in a lineup.
Could you pick Clinton out of the lineup when he ran? First of all, he wound up being the most popular president we had at the time.
Touche.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Chris Christie.
He came out of nowhere.
Chris Christie, yes or no?
About what?
About running.
I'm emphatic.
I can't.
No.
It's one of the 7 for him.
We got 3 no's there. How about DeSantis?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Big yes.
I've got to give a yes.
He started out slow and tapered off. That's about the only way to say. But he's going to make a comeback. I feel he's going to make a comeback.
DeSantis.
Okay, go ahead.
DeSantis is in such bad shape. He's got a young upstart surpassing him. That man, and I said it right here on your show. I said it before DeSantis announced. I said there's something wrong with him. He's got 0 charisma. He actually didn't do an amazing job in Florida. He's not going to do well.
Maybe the country needs results, not charisma.
Well, you go with Trump.
What do you? Because you got charisma and results.
And results.
Go ahead.
Yep. Okay. All right. Next.
Touche.
Nikki Haley, former ambassador.
No. The CNN loves her.
Yeah.
The left, guys,
they do.
they're afraid of me.
How about Asa Hutchinson,
Who's that again?
Arkansas governor? Asa Hutchinson.
I can't even, if I can't spell your
Like
name.
Three Stooges kid. I've been to the Oasis. Yeah, twice. I don't diminish anybody's desire to serve their country, but they've already said no to Asa in so many forms. What made him think that he could actually even be a contender?
Yeah. How
Bless
about
his heart, as
Vivek Ramaswamy?
Like him?
Yeah.
You like him?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Good forehand.
Yeah. All right.
Great for president.
Tim Scott.
Yes. Big yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And then the one I think has some debatable things is Mike Pence.
I like him.
No,
too much baggage.
No, he's not gonna be able to shake it off.
I think he's stuck in the middle there with too much Trump, not enough Trump. He's not enough for the MAGA, this and that, and then there's suspicion on the right.
Let me give you a little insight into him. He's got a lot of really good qualities, but one quality Americans usually look for is loyalty.
Yeah.
And loyalty requires you sometimes just to keep your mouth shut.
Well,
it doesn't mean support. It means just don't go after.
Let me ask you this. To defend Trump against these indictments, is it not more of a show of loyalty to your country than to Trump? That's where I'm at.
Depends on how they defend it.
To me, my defending Trump is not my loyalty to Trump. It's my loyalty to the country that you just do not make up charges. I may be news to a lot of folks out there, especially on the left, but you have a right to contest an election. And when you take these misdemeanors and morph them into massive felonies, when it was very questionable whether the charge was even a misdemeanor, that is a precedent that is absolutely horrifying. You do that to the president, you put him beside him. So my country, it's the country that I'm loyal to, and the basic fundamental freedoms of prison. We should not fear a big state government coming at.
Culture has killed free speech.
Larry, let me ask you this. Thank you. On just what you just said there, because I was thinking about it last night. Are we not seeing with Trump the ultimate outcome of out of control cancel culture? It might have started with some comedians saying something that somebody didn't like, canceled. An actor saying something, canceled. A lower level politician saying something, canceled. But it's grown and grown. At a board meeting, school board meeting, canceled if you say the wrong thing. On a radio show, canceled. Now you got the president of the United States, who is
just put fear
the
in
number
all of
one
us.
candidate.
Yeah, it should.
That is cancel culture, and that's the end result of that. That's the tadpole turning into the frog right there. You've got now. That's where we warned you folks about cancel culture.
Let me flip that. It's turning the frog into the tadpole, because they want to take the final outcome of somebody and the qualities they have and push them back to nothing.
I hear where you're coming from.
Yeah, right.
And that's much more defenseless than a tadpole.
Yeah, I mean,
you take away the rights, a frog can jump and croak, scare you off with his looks. Yeah. Kind of like Trump.
Yeah.
So let me give you
before the indictments.
Let me give
my he's accounted. Yeah.
Let me give you my breakdown on this whole thing. The winner for the Republicans is going to be who is the closest one to MAGA. Who's MAGA light? The candidate that appears
without saying they're
MAGA light that has everyone's looking for a Trump on that stage tonight on the Republican Party, especially the MAGA base, because the MAGA base realizes, I think they do now,
they want somebody to cheer for.
That and they know there's an expiration date to Trump. Mm-hmm. So tonight, whoever comes closer to MAGA and MAGA light is going to have an upper advantage to win the night. That's number one. The second thing is, how does America, the independents and the Democrats view this? The Democrats are looking at it pretty much laughing, thinking that, hey, you guys think you guys have a good group. And now I'm looking at the group. I don't think it's a great group. I think we had a better candidate pool the last time we had a Republican primary. So I believe we're looking at the JV squad, to be honest with you. I'm just going to be flat out honest. I think we don't have the best of the Republican Party on that debate stage. With that said, it is either Vivek's, Ron DeSantis is essentially to win or lose. Everybody else is just fighting to go beyond Iowa.
Who would you have as the starting team in there? Like Ted Cruz, Lindsey Graham? Who would you have? I think the 8 on there, you talk about diversity. I may not like them. I may not support them as being president. But every single one of them, with the exception of Asa Hutchinson, which he's probably a great guy, but I mean, you've got women, you've got people of color, you've got Tim Scott, and here's the party of which the other party, the woke left, has said is racist, that if you're a minority, you have no chance of going anywhere in the Republican Party. And if you're a conservative, and who you got didn't make the stage, Larry Elder. But I wish Larry was there, but you got Tim Scott, you got Nikki Haley, you've got a Indian, a man of Hindu faith. That the Christian community is saying, you know what, I want a leader, because the Bible has said many times where you had a non-Christian leader that really helped Christians and Jews and the whole world, that were not, because they were good leaders that God put in place there. And you look at that, and you got a young.
It's the JV squad.
You got DeSantis, who is you got what now?
JV squad.
But who's the varsity?
So let me tell you the varsity.
Now you're dodging the question. Okay, who's the varsity? They don't say Trump's going to play all 11 positions on the football team.
He's that good.
He's going to throw the pass and catch the pass in the end zone. He's going to block for himself.
So you might laugh, but you need someone that has that establishment, but can still pull anybody.
Who's it?
You got Kevin McCarthy. I think would be a viable candidate. If you and he's
I think you're right. There.
He's a varsity guy.
Okay, so you got one out of the 8.
He's a varsity.
So you got 7 more.
Marco Rubio is a varsity.
Okay.
I'm surprised he's not in it.
Okay.
I think he knows that he sees what a lot of people just can't realize is that Trump's going to win the nomination. It's a waste.
He's waiting for 4 years.
I'm not saying I'm eating my words, but you put them on my plate.
Sarah Huckabee.
The words are on my plate. I haven't eaten them yet. Go ahead.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Okay. Yeah. I got no.
Yeah.
God, I thought I had
South Dakota.
I did.
What's her name? Christy Nome.
Yeah.
Just because she's got that, just because she has that star.
4 out of 8.
Yeah. And
Can I change the subject?
Yeah, and you need a strong businessman or woman that's a Republican.
Okay, go. You got 4 out of 8.
Vivek, but he's not a household name. You need almost like
you just got half the team.
You need you need some star power. You need a Republican that has instant household name ID. I don't know who that person is, but that's what you need. Someone that, like a Trump, that comes with a tons of name ID, who's conservative.
Alan Autry.
Alan Autry. You're just waiting for us to say Alan Autry. Alan Autry. So
Maggie's
quit kicking me under the table.
Maggie was standing for make Alan go ape crap. That's what Maggie would stand for. But you can put the other word in there. Make Autry go ape. No, I won't get us off the air.
So
all right.
So that I believe that's the varsity.
You came through better than
that's really good.
Varsity.
So but let's go to who's actually on the stage tonight. I think Vivek. The winner tonight is going to be Vivek or Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis tonight will be the night. If Ron DeSantis is able to turn his campaign around, it's got to be tonight.
I think. Okay. I see Doug Burgum. I don't know if you heard what happened to him. Hurt his knee badly playing 3-on-3 basketball. Already like him out there playing basketball. They say the injury is really bad. He may not be able to make it. He's got to make it. Yeah. Larry and I were talking before the show. You don't not show the first debate because you have a knee injury. You do a Kurt Schilling. You're bleeding through the sock. Willis Reed back in the folk come out on the
oxycodone you're in.
Whatever. You've got to come out there, and I can see him limping out there, what have you, and then having that moment, that question, that, I hope he has a sense of humor, because we saw Mike Huckabee go from absolutely zero name rec to known because of his humor. I forget what he said, but it was some joke, and it was like the tension was completely cut. People loved it because he had a sense of humor. I don't know any of the 8 that I have seen that has shown a Reagan-esque type ability. John Kennedy, I know I'm talking about, the icons of that. You know what I'm saying, Larry?
Absolutely.
That could use
They can
humor.
capture an audience.
Yes. I mean, Kennedy showed up. I mean, you see these videos of him. He was this
and
big,
you know
big
who
thing.
they are.
And he said, and he introduced himself as Jackie Onassis' husband. Got a huge laugh. Reagan saying, I promise that I will not use my opponent's youth and inexperience against him, because they were coming at him for age. I mean, if Burgum could have that moment, I don't know if he's got it, but do you think any of them have demonstrated the ability to adroitly go there make lighthearted, and you see, I think that's if somebody could do that, like Huckabee did.
Yeah.
You crack a joke
that's
that
the
works.
hope of every candidate on that stage tonight is that they have that one-liner that changes it.
Yeah, but listen, one-liner, yeah, absolutely. In a debate scene, one-liner will help you out, but I think the average American today needs a whole bunch of good liners to really put you at the top. But what you just mentioned proves my point even greater. You mentioned these icons, these leaders where as soon as they walked on stage, as soon as they walked into a room, those guys had it. They had the it factor. And you listed some Democrats and Republicans. And whether we like it or not, Donald Trump, Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, Ronald Reagan, JFK, these men had that it factor. You look on that stage, none of those guys or gal have that it factor. No, I think we would see it by now. They don't have the it factor.
Let me ask you something. Do you think that Vivek Ramaswamy went too far with that video? Because it's a video world. You post something. You're saying something with that post.
Yeah.
You're saying, look at me. I want to communicate something. Obviously that he's fit, but he's shirtless and all that. I think he's already started to get some pushback on. You know what? Okay, we get it, Vivek. You're fit.
He's not talking to us.
But you're right. I thought about that.
He's
those
not
young
talking
people
to us.
Those young people respond to that.
He's talking to that streaming world.
Yeah.
Very true. But let's be real. That was showing how out of touch he is. And he's the youngest one. All those people on the stage are completely out of touch with the American people.
I'm 75, and I get what he was doing.
I think Vivek probably has the best chance of having a one-liner doing something that is memorable.
Well, he's going to take a chance.
He's going to,
Well, I hope he continues to be Vivek.
Take a chance.
He's going to win tonight. I just don't want to come out and say it. But
well, I tell you what, DeSantis. Go ahead. Sorry.
He's going to win. He's got nothing to lose.
Well, there's something coming up, an opportunity for DeSantis, and I think it's going to be a make or break for him. I don't think this debate, no matter how he performs, because he's not going to suck.
Yeah.
He might just not inspire. He's going to answer the questions. He's going to be articulate doing it, as most of them will. Okay, they've got their shtick down. But when he goes up against Gavin Newsom, I think that's going to be a very, very watched debate with Hannity. You have the governor of Florida, governor of California, and politically speaking, to promote something, you couldn't have two better heavyweights in the ring.
You had a really good point.
And if he performs well, I think it could really...
Believe it or not, you had a really good point.
At least he gives me credit for one, Guillermo.
It's interesting. We want a leader. We want someone who inspires. We want that person who can connect with us and connect through the tube, through the video. Because we're never going to get to see them personally. We are never going to get to see them. So we have to rely on other people that we trust and what they say, and we have to rely on what we see. And we are so conditioned for that 20-second, 5-second little outbreak that I think that's the make or break. And that's the hope I have tonight, is that one of these 8 people will have some way of connecting with us that goes deeper, just like, oh, that guy's like me, or that gal's like me, or, I get that. I get what they're saying. The problem is you've got people around you who are trying to give you one-liners that may not work for your personality.
And you look to try to fit it in when it doesn't belong.
It's forced.
It's forced in there. That was made up about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's worse.
Sure.
Yeah. But still, having said that, don't you... In this world, as you so well described it, if you don't, for lack of a better description, you got to look for and be ready to jump on your TikTok moment. That TikTok, it's just a small amount. How you respond, that they can put that on TikTok.
Perfect timing makes for a short, perfect candidate.
So, do you have the brain? Are you wired? And that's why you have to get out of the programming. That's why Reagan was so great, and Kennedy was and Clinton was so great. And to a lesser degree, but had it, strangely, was George W. Bush. He had this self-effacing humor that he was ready for.
Yeah.
And I don't see that in any of the candidates. You certainly don't see it in any of the Democrats have no sense of humor at all. They're so obsessed with putting Trump behind bars. They have no. All right, let's do a quick. I want to talk about. Well, I got you here, Guillermo. Joe Biden's trip to Hawaii. If it is not apparent now to all that this man is dangerously decapacitated to the point where at 80 years old, you don't see a return to a physical and mental cognitive space where you could lead the country. This thing in Hawaii, when your mind is functioning in such a way that you feel you have to compare your life experience with this horrific tragedy. I mean, they think maybe over 1,000 children still missing, incinerated. And you've been telling stories your whole life about, hey, that reminds me of my time with Corn Pop. That reminds me of the time when I was a big rig driver, which he never was. He never drove a big rig. Oh, that reminds me when I was at the top half of my class. I mean, this guy had to drop out of a presidential race because he plagiarized an entire speech. But you get up in front of these folks in Hawaii and you tell them you know how they feel because your house almost burnt down from a lightning strike. And you find out that his house didn't burn down. It was a kitchen fire. And his wife, he said, my wife was there and my cat. And then he says it. He says it, folks. And my 67 Corvette. You're comparing your horror of losing almost losing your 67 Corvette. And the people of Hawaii are just apoplectic. That should nail it right there. And I understand the guy had to fly across how many time zones to get to Hawaii. Just been over there in Europe. They're running this man into the ground. He's over 80 years old. I have no problem with being out on the beach. Run the country from the beach. You should not be there. This man, my question to you all, if it's not clear now, he is not going to make it to the November election. And I happen to believe the reason you haven't seen Kamala Harris, she is now bunkered down with advisors. And I think Barack Obama's right in the thick of it, saying, girl, you're it.
Don't we have an example of that in the last election?
And then Hunter Biden issue. Yes.
He hid.
And the Hunter Biden issue is taking so much momentum, that's going to stress him more. They can both go to jail. The Democratic Party clearly now are saying he's got to go. And for that, then they have the reason now. Because I don't see how you make it back. You can look at your watch while they're bringing back, the from Afghanistan or soldiers that were killed over there because of his botched withdrawal, and you just callously look at your watch while the bodies are coming. I mean, there's so many things in this. Go ahead. We just got a few minutes.
Well, I'll tell you. Yeah, let's not take a break. First of all, let's talk about the Hawaii scenario, and it's not a scenario, but it's reality. The sad part is, and I forgot who said it. I heard it on Fox last night. When the president of the United States comes to a tragedy, you're looking for hope. It's a new beginning. You know that the country is behind you. The country cares about you, and that things are going to look up, irrespective of how bad it. That's what a presidential visit. That's what a presidential visit does. Presidents have done it very well in the past, and presidents have botched it in the past. So, unfortunately, I'm not going to categorize his visit as important because to me, it's not about what the federal government could do for you and their ability to get you out of the tragedy. So I'm not applying that much weight on it. And unfortunately, I don't think a lot of people do now. So that's why what he said is atrocious. It's wrong. It's out of touch. It was incoherent. Unfortunately, to the powers that be, not even that is going to top the cake for them to say, you know what, this guy's done. The only thing, and Biden, and I believe he's going to keep going. The only thing that's going to stop that man is if his heart stops.
Yeah.
They're not going to take him out. He is their candidate. They're rolling with him. They're not moving. But what Hawaii shows us, and I hope it shows the people of Hawaii, because Hawaii is a Democrat state. Let's just be very real. And it doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. But what I hope happens is we see it. You and I, the independents, Republicans, we see it. I hope the people that voted for Joe Biden, when they watch things like this, if they even watch them at all, because a lot of them, they don't watch them. I hope that they realize, you know what? I made a bad decision, because if people believe they made a bad decision once, I trust the American people to say,
not
you know
to
what?
Do it twice.
Fool me once,
yeah.
Shame on you. Fool me twice.
That's true if you don't view your political beliefs as a religion. If you feel it's a religion, you will be beheaded and still say, I'm not going to deny my religion. I don't care what it costs. And that's what's happened is this wokeism, this new Green Deal, these folks have made their political beliefs a religion. And they're willing to have themselves killed, to die, see the economy die, see your quality of life deteriorate down. It's to get somebody to deny their religion. They do crazy, crazy stuff that makes no sense to some people. And when you make a political belief, that becomes a secular religion, which is what wokeism and the New Green Deal has had. Because you look at all the wildfires that did this. The New Green Deal prevented Hawaii embraced it. They didn't remove that dry brush from around these electrical lines. Fire broke out, catastrophe. In Canada, same thing. They didn't. The environmentalist New Green Deal would not let them clean up. Here in California,
all you got to do is go up to Shaver, and Southern California Edison took care of the land, and that didn't burn in the Creek Fire.
There you go. It didn't have anything to do with global warming or climate change at all. All right, folks, when you hear that theme song, it's time for us to mosey on out of here. For me to get on my horse. I got tied in the parking lot, kind of walk right off in the sunset. While Guillermo gets in his Tesla, and Larry gets in. What are you driving now?
I'm driving a loaner.
Oh, man. I'll give you a ride.
The old loaner. Right. Folks, thanks for tuning in. Love you. God bless you. And just do your best. Let God do the rest. And I promise it's going to turn out the way it's supposed to. Love you all. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye now.